Ricciardo to Mercedes? What a roller coaster season it is so far for Ricciardo. The 8-time race winner doesn't have a place for the 2023 season, and although many of us thought that he'll be up there in teams like Alpine or HAAS, it seems like his options are becoming more and more narrow. The situation came to the extent of Ricciardo being linked to the IndyCar 500, more precisely in McLaren's seat there, but he did say that he wants to continue racing in F1. However, that may be easier said than done, since not many spots are available for him, at least until a couple of days ago. Recent reports have said that Mercedes has increased its interest in Ricciardo, and if you want to find out more about this video, stick around with us until the end. Ricciardo's tenure in McLaren in 2021 and 2022 wasn't something that he'll look forward to with grace and gratitude. Ricciardo did win his 8th career race in 2021 in Monza, in a 1-2 finish of McLaren, but apart from that, his highlights with McLaren end here. 2022 was an even more challenging season for Ricciardo, since he won only 19 points for the team in the first half of the season and continued on that streak in the following races in Spa and Zandvoort. Therefore, the team was looking forward to moving away from the lucrative contract they signed with him in 2021, thinking that he could be the next big thing for the team that would help them to at least keep the P3 Constructors' Championship spot that McLaren has earned with Norris and Sainz. Both sides agreed to part ways from the 2023 season, and as Ricciardo said, "I'm a fighter, but sometimes you just have to let it go." This is why he has agreed to part ways with McLaren, and he'll cash in around $15 million in buyout terms from the initial $21 million that was rumored that he's seeking from the team. McLaren found a young replacement for Ricciardo named Oscar Piastri, who is his fellow compatriot, and Ricciardo is without a seat for the 2023 season. He has been linked with a comeback to Alpine, formerly known as Renault, the team where he won a couple of podiums in 2020 and finished P5 in the Drivers' Championship in that same year. However, the team has emerged its talks with Gasly, who is a 26-year-old Frenchman that is looking forward to running away from the toxic relationship that he has between him and Red Bull. Danny was also linked to HAAS, but it seems like the team won't be able to pay him nearly the same amount of money that he is set to receive from McLaren in the buyout contract, so they are likely signing Giovinazzi for the 2023 season. After all, he did obtain 2 free practice sessions, one in Monza and one in Austin for the team, which is why the chances of him being signed are huge. That leaves Danny without a seat, since the chances of him going into Williams are very rare, as the last thing he wants is to be back marker at every race. Not that he wasn't on multiple occasions in McLaren, but with Williams that is a guaranteed thing. However, luck may have smiled upon Ricciardo, as recent reports said that Mercedes is showing interest in him if Hamilton was to not extend his contract after 2023. Mercedes is far away from its championships winning car, and Hamilton's sole reason for returning to 2022 was to fight for the 8th championship that was stripped away the way it was in Abu Dhabi. Now, with the engine freeze until 2026, it's highly unlikely that Mercedes will be in the levels of Red Bull and Ferrari performance, which is a reason more for Hamilton to decide that this is it, and there isn't any need to prove something more. A close source to F1 said that the interest in Ricciardo from Mercedes' side has increased. As they wrote, Mercedes are thinking about Ricciardo to cover off the possibility of walking away at the end of next season. Bringing Daniel into their camp means they wouldn't be left high and dry. It would also mean George would be the main man from that point in 2024. Speaking about his future, Ricciardo said, "I wouldn't give up on F1. If it means I'm not on the grid next year, I'll certainly try to find a way to be on there in 2024. It's honestly the only racing I'm really interested in at the moment. My mindset is still, I'm an F1 driver. I am proud of what I've done, but I still feel there's a bit more to show, to give. I wouldn't race another category next year," said Ricciardo. "The truth is I'm keeping every option open, not only for next year, but for the future. I still don't know what next year looks like. As Lewis said earlier, I do want to be on the grid. I do want to race. Although it's certainly been a challenging time in my career, it hasn't taken the love of the sport away from me and that desire to still be here and still compete," said Ricciardo, who also spoke about a possible tenure in Williams or a team that has a long-term project in mind. "I still definitely have the ability to love a project, But of course, if there's this longer project and this one where you're going to win tomorrow, of course I'm going to go for the quick wins. They are things I will definitely give some thought to. I don't also want to be stubborn or short-sighted and be like, oh no, I'm not interested in that. I will give everything its respected thought. From 2017, every 2 years I've been with a different team. I don't want to just sign something and think, wait now, something else is there for 2024. So it's probably not as simple as just getting somewhere on the grid next year. It can probably go in many different directions, so I don't think it needs an immediate decision. It's going to be about what's best for me. During Thursday's press conference prior to the Monza GP, Ricciardo spoke about his future and confirmed the initial statements that he made. But this time, Hamilton and Russell were sitting alongside him. They were also asked about this matter, and as Hamilton said, according to him, Ricciardo is too good to be a reserve driver in Mercedes. I think he's far too talented, and he's earned the right to be amongst us all racing. If he's part of our team, that'd be great, but a third role is not really what's best for him. If I was managing him, he'd be racing, said Hamilton, who also added that he has never felt better in his 37th year of life, and that he plans to extend the deal with Mercedes in the upcoming period. For me, I feel healthier than I've ever felt. I'm feeling fit, I love what I'm doing, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. My goal is to always be with Mercedes. I signed with them in 1997. I love that we have the long partnership we have. I feel like we are embarking on a lot of really positive things, not only in the sport but outside, and I think there's a lot to accomplish together. I want to be a part of that, finished Hamilton. With this, Hamilton kind of closed the door on his possible retirement, but we all know that previously in this season he said that he wouldn't want to race in his 40s. Therefore, chances are still here, and although as of now all of this is a rumor, Ricciardo was heard telling Perez during the drivers' parade at the Dutch GP that he is likely to sit out the 2023 season and conquer for a spot in 2024. Russell was also asked about this matter, and the young Briton said, "I've not heard any reports or heard anything, but I think Daniel's track record speaks for itself really. He's a driver deserving of a seat on the Formula One grid, and it would be a real shame for him to not be there next season. But obviously, from our side, having a driver of his caliber joining the team in any capacity would be a real boost. He's a driver I get along with. I just hope he stays on the grid and in the sport," finished Russell. With that being said, it seems like we have an interesting turn of events ahead of us. What do you think will happen next regarding the Ricciardo saga? Do you think that the Aussie does have a legitimate shot at the Mercedes seat from 2024 onwards, given the fact that he and Russell are in a good relationship? Or do you think that these rumors will be squashed and Hamilton will continue his deal beyond 2023? Let us know in the comments below.